Welcome back, my friends. So today I got a real quick PlayStation Classic video for you. I know it's been a little while. A lot of us have shifted our focus on the Genesis Mini, but let's not forget about this little bitch and all the cool stuff we could do with it with Autobleem. Autobleem is amazing. From what I'm hearing, there's going to be a new release in the future. We'll talk on that in a moment. But today what I wanted to take a look at was this brand new add-on pack for Autobleem from Magnus RC that incorporates some cool stuff from the Sega Genesis Mini. So it's just another way to have more fun with your PlayStation Classic. And, you know, I've heard, some people in my Genesis Mini videos say, hey, should I get a Genesis Mini? I already have a PlayStation Classic with all the games I want to play on it. Should I get one? And to me, it's kind of a weird question because if you already have reasons why you don't want one, don't let anybody pressure you into buying something you don't want. If you've already got it covered, then cool. If you want to support Sega, if you want to collect these mini consoles, if you want an official product, then more power to you, buy the Genesis Mini. But if you have no interest in those things and you have something that you're happy with that does what you want to accomplish, don't worry about it. Don't feel pressured. You know what I'm saying? But here we go. One of the games that was included on here is Darius, which is from the Sega Genesis Mini. I think this is really cool stuff. So let's take a look at that handful of these other games that have been added. We did have that theme, that brand new Sega Genesis theme added to this add-on pack. Thought that was pretty cool. All these systems, you know, we have a bunch of systems on Autobleem that we could play through RetroArch. I think is really cool, but they all have these bezels and stuff. Magnus RC has done a lot of work on these builds. I think it's really cool stuff. With RetroArch, it's an interesting thing. I'm sucking because I can't talk and play at the same time, but let's try to focus a little bit here. With the Genesis Mini, we were talking about Hakchi and the RetroArch build for it just the other day. And I know I came off like, I don't really care that much because I'm just being honest. I don't. It's vanilla RetroArch. I want Hakchi to be able to do the same stuff that it did for the Super Nintendo and the NES Classic Editions with the Genesis Mini. That's when I will care. But I just wanted to look at what is being offered, what's available out there. And RetroArch's not something I'm amazed with, except for stuff like this, where we have everything built into the user interface, Evolution UI as an example, which is what we're using here. Having this graphical interface, that's kind of stuff I dig. And I know with like Project Lunar, they're talking about possibly having like emulation station and stuff like that for the Genesis Mini. I think that's going to be pretty cool. The Genesis Mini may get to the point where it's like, hey, this is, on par with what the PlayStation Classic is, but it's going to take some time. So that's one of the reasons some people would prefer just to stick with the PlayStation Classic because it can already do a lot of this stuff very well. Let me exit out of this. But with Autobleem and a new release coming out, from what I've heard, we're going to have folder support with PlayStation games. And I think that's pretty cool. But beyond that, I think it's cool that Autobleem's still being supported. That just because other classic systems have came out or are coming out, that they haven't stopped working on this stuff. They're still putting out quality of life things for Autobleem on the PlayStation Classic. And I think that's awesome, because a lot of people dig this system and what we can do. To me, it seems fairly complete with Autobleem right now, but it's really cool to see that there's still new stuff going to be added. We also have Megaman the Wily Wars added to this add-on pack. Makes it a little more like the Sega Genesis Mini, I guess, in a sense. The game's cool. It's neat. Never physically released in the US. I believe you could only play it in the US for like a limited time back in the day on the Sega channel, the little internet service thing. But it was never released physically here. It was in Japan and Europe. So it was cool to have finally like an actual release in the US. It's a neat game, but I still prefer playing the originals on the NES. Not to say that it's the same. It does have some differences, some other stuff going on with it, whole story and whatnot. But it's just not my favorite. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people do dig it, though, and it's really neat to see it. So on this pack, we also have a few other things. One is a homebrew that's been added that I think is pretty cool, that I've already played in the past, which is going to be Tanglewood. Tanglewood's a homebrew, a very high-quality game. I think that's really neat. We also have Tetris, which was on the Sega Genesis Mini. Very rare game, not released here. It's Tetris. I'll check it out real quick. Just because I can easily jump into this game. But it's another one of those, like, man, I'd rather play the NES port or the Game Boy port. It's Tetris. There's a lot of cool ports out there. To me, this one is not that amazing. You know what I'm saying? It's cool, I guess, but it doesn't feel as good to me as other releases of Tetris. It feels it feels slightly wonky, and I'm already screwing shit up here, man. What's wrong with me? But it does feel like not as responsive for some reason. I don't know. I'm already screwing this up big time, man. I'm no Tetris champion. You know, I never aspired to be a Tetris champion, especially not the Genesis version of it. Holy crap. I always like columns on the Genesis. That's what I equate like with puzzle games on the Genesis is columns, not Tetris. So when they announced this, it was kind of like, meh. Like, do I really care? I mean, how many of you guys who got a Genesis Mini, the first game you played and that you were so excited to check out was Tetris? I'm sure there was probably somebody, but I really don't think there was that many. I mean, let's just be honest with ourselves. Neat, but it's fucking Tetris, man. What else can you say about it? And I'm not doing too bad here now. Now I kind of made a little comeback. But regardless, I don't care. Let's get out of here. There's one other game that I was super excited to see put on this add-on pack. And it's one of my favorite games of the year. I played it quite a bit on the channel, and that is Ultracore. Holy crap, Ultracore. Never released. It was an unreleased game that they wrapped up and finished up and put it on the Mega SG from Analog, exclusive for a short while. And then they did do a physical release, a very limited physical release for the Sega Genesis Mega Drive. So it's really cool to see this here and to be able to play it on the PlayStation Classic. I mean, I guess eventually you'll get to play it on your Genesis Mini, but this game, my God, it's like Turrican. It's kind of like Turrican, Metroid, a little bit of a few games in the one, but really similar to Turrican, those style games. This is also being released on the Switch, from what I understand. I don't know if it's already been released, but I know I saw a physical version of it coming from like one of those limited companies, which is like, man, I'd prefer just to see this, you know, come out on the Switch and walk in the Best Buy and go buy it. You know what I mean? Now that's a story for another time, I guess, but a lot of fun. This first opening area, not to say that it's boring or anything, it's just barely giving you a taste. You know, you're kind of given a little free range to get accustomed to the controls type of thing. But the second you start going underground and start exploring a little more, opening up doors, finding weapons, fighting bosses, man, the game gets really intense. And you're not on this little, you know, above ground area for long. Pretty much, I believe, like right over here, there's going to be a way to go down, yeah, after this stuff. Oh, get out of here. So right here, you can go down. And then this is where things like start getting crazy. You know, a lot more enemies start getting introduced, elements of exploration, having to find keys to open doors. The variety just starts pouring in after the first few minutes of the game. I really dug this game. I loved it. It's one that, like I said, man, if they made it an easy to buy game for the Switch in a physical edition, I would be all over it. But unfortunately, man, always with these limited release type things, okay, we already flipped that Switch. But yeah, this game, it does get a little frustrating like later on. Oh my God, like there's just some crazy jumps and stuff that just are really intense. You get overrun by enemies. Like I said, the variety of enemies starts to change quite a bit. But this is a game that I definitely recommend playing if you haven't played it already. A little hidden area, a little bonus area, whatever. Get out of there. But there you guys go. Didn't want to just disregard the PlayStation Classic altogether. Definitely excited to see that we still have a lot of cool stuff going on with this system. A lot of fun. Really cool to see that, there's still going to be support out there with Autobleem. So whenever a new version of Autobleem comes out, I'm not going to forget this little guy. Definitely going to share that stuff with you because I know a ton of people still use this system, still love it, have been having a lot of fun with it. Oh my God, this part sucks. You have to wait for these guys to go, and then yeah, there we go. That was like the only way, man. If that part, if you like wait back to jump, there is no freaking way you're going to hit that platform. You're not going to hit that platform and be able to jump to the next one in time. You saw how fast that shit moved. And you got to be like right on the edge so it could like pull you. Oh my God, am I going to die again? Oh, we got to get the key card. Oh my God. But man, yeah, I could sit here and play this game for like 5 hours. I really dig it. It's kind of hard for me to really focus at this time. I'm looking at it in my recording software. But there we go. Really do appreciate you guys hanging out with me, having a blast playing these mini systems. Really do appreciate you guys. And with that said, I will catch y'all next time. Peace out, bye-byes, and boom. Bye.